Hi, everybody. I'm here today with Vernell. We are now live. And so Vernell and I are just going to take a minute or two and we're going to share this information to a couple of other places here on Facebook that we let everybody know that we would be. We appreciate you stopping in today and, spending some time with us. Information to a couple of other places. Let's get some share going here.
He's going to have an annual garage sale. This is the first one.
Yep, it is now on my timeline, which I did that wrong, but that's okay.
I'm gonna Remax page and share.
Yep, perfect. Thank you everybody for coming in. My name is Carol.fahy. I am a member of Team First Day Properties, and we are located with Remax Premier Properties here in Bear, Delaware. Today we are here with Vernell. Vernell is a credit man. He does all things credit, and he was nice enough to come in here today and talk with us about credit repair. And we asked him to do that because right now everybody's got a lot of time on their hands, and so they are able to work on these things, which normally life's too busy. So Vernell, welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Right, thank you for having me, Carol. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So where do you want to start?
Let's start with why there's a reason to, if you're in a position where you have bad credit, why there's a reason to, why there's an opportunity to repair your credit. And the reason there's an opportunity to repair your credit is because the FCRA, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, actually protects consumers from inaccurate, unverifiable, and erroneous information. If you have a collections account that is yours on your credit report, you have the right to challenge it and put pressure on the credit bureaus and the collection agency in order to verify that information. Usually, the collections agency or the credit bureaus do not have the manpower and don't do enough legwork to actually verify it. So using the correct dispute letters and the correct strategy for each different type of account in each specific situation is what yields results for people. So most companies, they'll go out and they'll sign you up, and then boom, they'll send a letter to the credit bureaus on your behalf, or have you send them saying, this is not my account. Now that doesn't work for two reasons. Because one, it is your account. And two, when you send a letter to the credit bureaus, they have a software set up. It's called the eOscar software. And it breaks down every dispute letter into codes. And they send back automatic responses. So you or the company sends a letter that says this is not my account, and they automatically send back a letter because they have to reply in 30 days or they're violating your FCRA rights. So you're not actually getting a real investigation. So when you use the proper dispute language, then you can get a correct investigation, and we can get more into the dispute letters, of course.
Okay. So how do dispute letters work? So you send them a letter and then they have a certain amount of time that they have to respond to you.
Right.
What happens in that time frame that they're given?
What happens is what they're supposed to do is do an investigation. But usually what they end up doing is leaving it on the back burner and sending back an automatic response. They do what we call stall letters. They'll send it back to you and say, oh, this request seems uncharacteristic, or this request seems weird. We want to know if this is actually you, which is just, like I said, a stall tactic, because when you send dispute letters, you attach your social security and a copy of your social security or your driver's license. So they know it's you. So for them to reply that they're not sure if it's you and this is a strange request, it's just a stall tactic. They're supposed to do investigation, but that's usually not what happens. So either you can get it removed with the first letter, but usually the second and third letter, we call them rounds of letters. Usually that'll be where the magic happens and negative accounts start to fall off your credit report.
Okay. So I think that I hear a lot of people say, oh, well, after a certain amount of time, it automatically comes off your credit. Is that true?
Yes and no, because the laws are different in each state. And usually if you try to, it's the statute of limitations, right? How long you can report on your credit report. Usually companies set up their headquarters in states that favor the laws for the creditors. So it's different for each state and how long a type of account can report in what state. So if I know in Las Vegas for a collections account, we're going 7 years, 160 days.
Okay.
But they don't have to remove it if you don't say anything, because I've seen people have accounts reporting from 20 years. So it's supposed to come off, but they don't always do it because the credit bureaus are lazy.
Okay. So if it's supposed to come off and it didn't come off, that's where your dispute letters come in. You contact them and you're like, hey, this shouldn't be there anymore. And then they start taking things off.
And where people go wrong with this is they hire a company, and this is how people get sued for thousands of dollars. They hire a company and they analyze their credit report. They send a dispute letter for an account that's past the statute of limitations. And instead of mentioning the statute of limitations in the dispute letter, they'll send a dispute letter that says, this is not my account, which will reset the time clock on the statute of limitations, because you're blatantly lying. If they can verify that it is your account, it'll actually reset that time, boom, and they'll probably sue you usually immediately.
Wow. So yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of false information out there, and you're saying if it's your account, you need to own it, right? Let's be responsible adults. We need to own it, right?
Yeah, we're not admitting to that account, but we're also not blatantly lying and saying it's not our account, because that will always end bad.
Okay, I like that. So what about, how does that affect your score? Like, how can you talk to us a little bit about how, like, if I have a 550 score, what steps do I take to get to a 650?
So you usually want to have about 3 or 4 different trade lines. Trade lines are positive reporting credit lines. So you can go with 2 credit cards, car loan, and your utility bill if you want to get that reported. And you want to make sure when you have those cards, if you have cards, and if you don't have credit cards or any loans, you want to get those.
Okay.
And if you don't have any positive accounts and you just have negative accounts, what we can do for you is called a credit reset. So we can reset your credit score, and you'll have 0 negative accounts, 0 positive accounts. And then we'll plug you in with some credit building products, and that will instantly boost your score and keep your utilization between 1 and 7%. A lot of credit gurus will tell you to keep it just under 30%. That's actually considered maxed out.
Okay.
You want to keep yourself at between 1 to 7%, because in each category of your credit score, there's 35% payment history, 30% utilization, 15% is age of accounts, 10% is new credit and inquiries, and another 10% is your types of credit. So in each category, you get a specific amount of points that you can gain from each category. And in order to maximize the utilization part, you want to keep it between 1 and 7%.
Okay. So I'm going to backtrack you a little, because that was a lot of information really fast. So first, everybody, thank you for watching. I see there's 16 or 17 of you in here now, and I'm going to have him backtrack that a little bit for us and talk a little slower for those of us who are writing this down.
Okay, so got you.
That there is a whole pie of information that's compiling our credit score. Can you break that down for us one more time?
Yes, for sure. We have 35% payment history. That's just paying your bills on time.
Okay.
We have 30% utilization. That's the amount of debt you carry versus the amount that is available to you on your credit cards. Okay. And then we have 15%, which is your age of accounts. So that's your average age of account. They take your highest and your lowest, and they average out the age.
Okay.
And then 10% is new credit and inquiries. So once you apply for credit, you want to make sure you're applying for new credit and then keeping your inquiries low. And they stop reporting after 24 months anyway, but you still want to make sure you're not going out there and getting excessive amount of inquiries. And then your types of credit is another 10%. So there's only 3 types of credit. There's revolving accounts, which would be your home equity line of credit, or a revolving credit line like a credit card.
Okay.
Installment accounts, mortgage, car loan, open accounts, like a charge card, American Express charge card, or your utility bills. So you want to have a good mixture of the three.
Okay. Okay. So I do want to backtrack real quick. You had said that you don't want to really exceed 7% of your available credit line. I just want to
Right.
touch real quick and make sure everybody understood what they meant. So basically what you're saying is for every $1,000 in credit that I have available to me, I really only want to use $70 of that in order to maximize my credit score.
Yeah, if you want to maximize that category, yeah.
Okay. What other categories can I maximize with a little thing? So you're saying three types of credit. I want to have a good mixture of credit.
Mm-hmm.
If I understood it, I never want to close my oldest account, and I want to be careful
Right.
opening too many accounts.
Mm-hmm.
What other wheel am I missing there?
So usually when people pay off a credit card, they want to get rid of it and they close the account, right? This hits you in two different ways.
Okay.
First, your age of accounts will lower, which will dramatically lower your score. And then if it's a credit card, your utilization will raise because you just knocked out a line of credit. You just paid it off. You weren't using it at all. So that was an open line of credit that was reporting with a low balance. You closed it. Now you lost the age and you lost the credit limit, which will raise your utilization and hurt your score in two different ways.
Okay. So is my utilization talent to say I have 3 credit cards and each credit card is 15,000 or 5,000 for a total of 15,000? You're saying I don't want to exceed 7% combined, right?
Combined, yeah.
So if I have more than 7% on one card and 2 of my other cards have no balance, is that still getting me to my 7%, or do I
That
want
is
to?
still getting you to your 7% for sure.
So do I want to make sure that I'm using all of my credit cards? Like, should I rotate them? Like, how does that work?
You can rotate them. Usually what I advise people to do, especially if you have an issue with credit cards and you're running them up, usually I'll tell people to attach a reoccurring bill to them. If they cannot, absolutely just cannot stop using them to go shopping or keep running them up, attach a monthly bill to them, pay the bill online and cut the credit card.
Yeah. Okay. So just get rid of the card altogether if you can't.
If you really, really cannot help but spend a lot of money on them, that's what I advise, because it'll help you once you, because most of us will need to get a mortgage on the home, or they'll need to take out a loan. So it would behoove you to really position yourself to make the process easier, because usually they treat the people who have a good credit score a lot better because they see it as an opportunity. Mortgage lenders, car lenders, lending institutions altogether, they see it as an opportunity to make a smooth transaction with someone who's responsible and literate.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So when I've looked at credit reports in the past, I've noticed that next to my thing, it'll say, yeah, I've paid on time. And then there's a bunch of X's. Do you happen to know what all those X's mean?
I think that's months where there was no payment due.
Oh, okay, because I paid in advance.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, look at that. Okay. So if somebody was getting ready to buy a house, let's say they're getting ready to buy a house, what's a few things you would recommend they do with their credit before applying for the mortgage?
The first thing you want to do is check your credit score, like your FICO score, because we have 28 different scoring models, and you want to know what your FICO score is. And before you go and get that pre-approval letter, you want to ask the lender, what FICO score from what bureau will you be pulling? They'll give you an answer, and you can go see where you're at for that FICO score with that bureau before you go in and get any excessive inquiries that you don't need, because you can go ahead and already know exactly what you need and exactly where you stand with that credit bureau.
Okay, and then just take the steps that you're saying to try and improve that score.
Right.
So what if you have a negative account and you actually owe some money? Obviously you want to pay that, right?
Mm-hmm.
What other things should we know about an account like that?
So if you have a negative account and it's happened to go into collections, or it's a charge off, before you pay any money, the collection agency has to prove to you that they can legally collect on that debt. So what a lot of people don't ask for is what they call the chain of title. And this is the transferring of a debt. So A sold to B, sold to C, sold to D. Most collection agencies do not buy this because they don't buy the chain of title with the account, because they know most people have no idea what it is and will never ask for it. But if you ask for the chain of title, they have to give you proof of it, and usually they don't have it. What the collection agency does is they buy the debt in bulk and they buy the accounting records with it, usually just screenshots of the accounting records. And they'll try to use that as proof, but they cannot legally collect on the debt until they have proven to you that they have the chain of title. So if you owe money, wait before you pay anything and exercise 100% of your rights.
Okay, so what does a chain of title look like?
Oh, it's just a piece of paper. It's just a piece of paper. You want to get a copy of it, and it just shows who the originator of the debt, who was the first creditor, to who is collecting on it now.
And if they don't have that and it's not legal for them to collect on it, what happens to that debt? What if you do want to pay your debt? Let's say I have an account and I do want to pay it, but these people don't have that letter, so they don't have the rights to the debt. So I contact my original debtor?
No, you just contact your credit bureau and you send a dispute letter, or we can ask the collection agency, since they don't have it, it'll give you negotiation power. So if you don't want to deal with it, you don't want to be harassed for the money, what you can do is a pay for deletion letter. So this is a letter where you send it to the collections agency and as an agreement that if you pay the debt in full, they will delete it off your credit report.
So they're not required to delete it if you pay it, but if you ask them to, they'll do that.
Some of them will do it. Usually at the end of the month when bills are due, that's when those really work.
And that'll help your credit score, obviously, because you have one less here. Oh, that's pretty cool. Okay, well, thank you for that. So I want to share my screen real quick and just show everybody. Again, I'm here today with Vernell, and he is from Fortune 800. He has an entire website here. If you go to his website, it's fortune800.com. You can schedule a consultation with him, a free consultation. He absolutely can help you through the process. Today, he's going to walk us through doing it ourselves. But again, he's virtual because we're living in a virtual world right now. So you don't have to meet with him in person. You can do it just like we're doing it now. You can have a consultation over Zoom, and he's going to be able to help you. So you should check him out at fortune800.com if you have any questions about that. Just wanted to share that real quick. So we were talking a little bit before this started, Vernell, about business credit, and you were giving me some interesting information. I was like, wow. So what can you share with because I know there's going to be realtors watching that, and we're considered a business. So what should we know about how to obtain business credit?
What you should know is your industry and the history of it when it comes to banking and structuring your business properly. So I was mentioning to you high risk. The credit repair industry is deemed high risk. And if you have credit in your name, so your name is really important. Like I said, bail bonds, credit, there's a bunch of other high risk industries, but credit is a high risk industry. So if you're looking to get loans, you want to make sure you're avoiding high risk industry names. You don't have to avoid high risk industries. So you start your LLC or your corporation, whatever it is you're going to start, and you get to do a tax election. It's a tax code election. So the tax codes break down what exactly your company does. So I'm a credit repair company, but we work on software as well. We own software and we build different types of software. So I've elected myself as a tech company who offers financial services. But our main thing is we're a tech company. It's easier for tech companies to get loans because they're deemed as low risk. Usually real estate is high risk. So if you just put Carol's, if you just named it Carol's LLC or Carol's Legacy LLC or your first and last name, whatever you so choose, it'll be a lot easier than saying the Carol Real Estate Group. It'll be harder to get loans if you're looking to open a brokerage. And you can use your personal credit. Let's say your personal credit is strong. You can use that in order to co-sign on a business loan for your business.
Okay.
So the most important things are structuring your business properly and avoiding high-risk industry names. You can still get business credit with the high-risk industry name, but it's an uphill battle.
Okay. And so I guess obviously we're all going to take the recommendation and not put that in our names.
Right.
I just want to take a minute. Hi, Tanya. We see you watching. We appreciate you stopping in this afternoon. I see a bunch of you are watching the live. If you have any questions, please drop your questions in there. Vernell will be more than happy to answer any of them for you.
For sure.
We're just going to keep going down. So earlier you mentioned inquiries, right? So every 2 years they fall off, correct?
Correct.
What is the max amount of inquiries that you want to have on your credit? Like you don't want to exceed, like you don't want to exceed 5, 4, 3. What's that magic soft spot?
You don't want to have more than 4 at any given moment.
Okay. So what if you're like shopping for a car? So I know, I came out of the auto industry several years in there, and I know shop for a car, they would go to a couple different banks just to get you a good interest rate.
Right.
What happens if something like that happens? Like, do you still try to stay at 4?
So when the credit bureaus recognize that you're shopping for a car or a home, you get a 30-day window where if you get a lot of inquiries, they won't affect you as much as if you're going out and applying for credit cards. So if I'm shopping for a car, I pretty much have a 30-day window where I can get a bunch of inquiries, and it won't affect me as much as if I got 4 inquiries from applying for a credit card.
Okay, so they kind of combine them and count them together.
Yeah, especially if you're getting them on the same day.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that's good to know. And then after 2 years, they'll all fall off anyway, right?
Right.
So now you get a car, say they do hit your 4 inquiries, and then 2 months later, you have to do something else. That's all counted separate. And then 2 years later, everything goes away and they start fresh.
Yeah.
Okay, so that works out good. Is there another area of the credit that people need to be mindful of?
No, I think utilization is where most people go wrong. I don't think most people don't go wrong with inquiries or the mix of credit or age, because usually those things are not 100% in your control, but your payment history and your utilization, 65% of your score, and that's 100% in your control.
Okay. And you're saying that if I do, I'm running down the credit road and I fall and I stumble, I can get back up. So,
yes.
And I know we've covered this a little bit, but for those of us just tuning in, I'd like to kind of revisit what the process is if you have a negative account on your credit that you want to have either taken off or you want to pay it or whatever that process was again.
The process usually starts with you sending a letter demanding an investigation on a certain account, saying you believe it's not reporting accurately, and then the credit bureau will send you a response back saying either a stall letter saying that, hey, this is a suspicious request, or they can't verify that it's actually you. Then you send back another letter demanding compliance with the credit bureau, and they respond, and then they say they did an investigation, and then you want to ask exactly what they did in order to verify the account and give them very specific questions. Who did you speak to? How long has the person that you spoke to been working for the company? What was the high balance? How long was the phone conversation? What date? And we want to make sure we're getting as much information as possible, because the more information you ask, the more overwhelmed the credit bureau will be, because they have to get you that information by law, but they don't always do that. We want to make sure we put as much pressure on them as possible. And if they don't get us that proper information, we can get the account removed.
Wow. Okay. And then once it's removed, obviously your score is going to go up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And usually a lot of people have seen reinsertions on their credit report, but the credit bureau reinsertion is when, my bad. Reinsertion is when an account gets removed and then the credit bureau puts the account right back on next week.
Okay.
So they have to send a letter within 5 days to the person who the reinsertion is going to, and they have to give you an exact reason why the negative account is back on your credit report.
Okay.
99.9% of the time, they do not do this. So if the account gets reinserted, you're fine because they're not going to send a letter. We dispute it one more time saying they're violating your FCRA rights, and then boom, we go ahead and get that removed.
So what if somebody would like to fix their credit, but they don't want to work with an outside person? Can people do this themselves, or do they need to work for the company?
You can do this yourself.
Okay.
You just need the right information. Most credit repair experts or companies won't tell you that you can do it yourself, but you can 100% do this yourself. All the information is readily available, but what you're paying for when you pay for someone like myself to get your negative accounts removed is you're paying for our expertise on the law and our experience with said topic. So you're not paying us for any secret information, but I've just comprised the best strategies from some of the top credit experts, top people in the industry, and I've broken down their strategies and I've reconstructed them and created my own strategy that I think works better than any other credit expert, credit repair company, or any program that the world has to offer. I think what I have and my strategy is 100% logical, and we're getting accounts removed based on the law all the time. It's not based on this is not my account, and we're not keeping you on a monthly payment cycle for as long as possible. We're going to give you the exact timeline. We're going to get this done. We're going to get you in, out, and then into your home.
That's fantastic. And so I do want to just touch on something that I haven't touched on yet. Don't you have a book coming out on this topic?
Yes, I do have a book, and it does break down what I call my surge strategy. So the strategy is, like I said, it's comprised from all the best information from all the top experts in the industry, and all their strategies reconstructed and put into pretty much like an ultimate strategy in order to get your credit back on track. We break down everything from how to improve, how to fix, and what to do with your credit after you repair your credit, and how credit can benefit you as a whole. Okay. Not just going out. We talk about anything from car loans, mortgages, credit card rewards. The book breaks down all of that. So if you're looking to do it on your own, let me tell you, the book will give you absolutely everything that you need.
And when does that book hit stores? So
at the end of this month.
Okay, at the end of this month. So we have another 27 days, people.
Yeah.
27 days.
It'll be on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and all that. But you can pre-order it with me. You can just shoot me a message on Facebook, and I'll reserve your copy.
Okay. And so should I open your Facebook page?
Yeah, you can go ahead and open my Facebook page and show the book cover.
So that's Fortune 800 on Facebook, right?
No, that's going to be on my personal.
Okay.
The book cover is going to be on my personal. I posted it yesterday.
Oh, I like it. Okay, so let me just pull him up so I'll share my screen for everybody to see. Let's see, where's the book cover? Oh, I like it. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen, everybody, so we can take a look at this book cover together. So Vernell has written a book on this topic. If you're interested in repairing the credit for yourself, this is the book we're going to be looking for, Cracking the Code. I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is Vernell's personal page right here. Again, he's Fortune 800. His phone number is 702-545-5519. So if you want to go ahead and ask him any questions. Can people text you with questions, Vernell, and set up a consultation?
Yeah, you can text, but when you go to the website and fill out the form, it'll have a series of questions that'll help me figure out whether or not I can help you or not.
Oh, okay. So you're not just going to, that's what I love about you. You're like, we don't want to lie to the credit bureaus. I don't want to lie to people. I want to be honest. If I can help you, I'll help you. If I can't, I'm going to be honest about that.
Right.
But, you don't find a lot of that. So that's definitely very refreshing to hear. Well, we're almost out of time here. Is there any final thoughts you want to share with everyone?
Yeah. Your credit, a lot of gurus tell you that it's not important, but it never hurts to have bad credit, but it always hurts. It never hurts to have good credit, but it always hurts to have bad credit.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you have any questions for Vernell, please feel free to reach out to him. He's fortune800.com. I'm going to make sure that his information goes into the links For those of you who know me, you know this video is going to go up in my YouTube. I'll make sure all his contact information is in the YouTube. You can find me everywhere. I am Carol with Remax. I'm on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, LinkedIn. I'm Carol with Remax everywhere. So whatever platform you're comfortable with, you'll find me. This video is going to start popping up all around. Please feel free to reach out to Vernell. He definitely can help you if you're looking for help, or like he said, buy his book and it'll walk you through how to do it yourself. We appreciate you tuning in today. Again, Carol with Remax. I am Remax Premier Properties, and I'm part of Team First Day Properties. Oh, one last thing. Monday, I'm going to be doing another webinar, and that's going to be just me. I'm going to be going over my entire virtual process. So tune in for that. Bye, everybody.
See you guys.
See ya. Thanks for now.
Yeah.